I've sat in on all of these meetings with the cardboard, and quite frankly, some of them are extremely arrogant, just downright arrogant, because they know what they're doing and they flaunt it.
All right, guys, that was Mayor John Miller at the June 13th, I believe, Collinsville City Council meeting, talking about the Collinsville Area Recreation District and the way they're mishandling the parks and basically not taking care of them, and that they're not negotiating in good faith and being arrogant and things. So, little background. There's been I'm checking to make sure everything's working here. There's been a little back and forth between the city and the Collinsville Area Recreation District on the condition of the parks and who should be managing the parks and the amount of taxes collected. And there's been a push that the city wants to take the parks back. And I think one of the reasons for that is that, the city doesn't believe, in my opinion, from what I've seen them saying, the city doesn't believe that the parks are being run in such a way that it'll benefit the city from, bringing in additional sales taxes and occupancy taxes and things of that nature. Well, at any rate, we did come to an agreement. The Recreation District and the city came to an agreement for them to take the parks back and terminate the lease of, CARD for managing the parks, and also transfer one additional park to them. So at the meeting, now CARD approved the agreement at their meeting, and then it was reliant on the city passing a similar ordinance to approve it at their meeting. So at the meeting in which that item was on the agenda to be approved, I went down there and I wanted to speak in favor of the agreement, but at the same time, I kind of want to hold the city council's feet to the fire for the comments that they'd made in early June. And so when I did so, I quoted the mayor, and he objected. And that's why one of the reasons I just played that clip, because the mayor told me, he wouldn't have said those things. Well, he did say those things. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let me go to this other clip. This is me speaking at the Collinsville City Council as they are considering. Well, this is during the public address section, where before they are to consider the item on the agenda. So here we go. Good evening. I'm Aaron Wright. Of course, you guys know I'm one of the commissioners down at CARD, and I've come tonight to speak in favor of an agenda item to approve the agreement between CARD and the city that would terminate the lease of the parks, ball fields, and also transfer the Schnucks Park over to the city. So, of course, you'll hear more about the benefits during the discussion period, also from our board president, Mr. Jetta. But I want to speak specifically about how this agreement addresses some of the negative comments about the way CARD has been handling the parks prior to today. And those comments were made on June 17th. One of the comments concerned missed opportunities from maintenance of the ball fields and attracting tournaments and those types of things to the city, which would keep city hotels busy, restaurants busy, those types of things. Particularly from Mr. Stamen, I believe, was speaking on that. The way this agreement will help to alleviate that problem is to realign the incentives for making that sort of action. So for CARD to dump money into the ball fields in order to attract these tournaments and result in this increased revenue, of course that revenue would go to the city and wouldn't necessarily benefit the residents of CARD in a direct way because of the fewer revenue sources that CARD has available to it. And I find it particularly unfair for people who live within walking distance of Miners Park but pay taxes into CARD to be paying for things that would only benefit the city of Collinsville. That'd be unfair not only to those taxpayers but also to their surrounding communities. Not directly related to the agreement, but other comments made on that date, particularly by Mayor Miller, was that the negotiations were not being done in good faith. CARD was engaging in gross mismanagement, and I quote, in relation to the negotiations themselves, quote, Mr. Miller, Mayor Miller, some of them are extremely arrogant, just downright arrogant, because they know what they're doing and they flaunt it, end quote.
Could I ask you a question? Where was that taken from?
That was taken, I didn't timestamp it in the meeting, but that was taken from your public comments during the June 17th, 2017 meeting.
Okay, thank you.
I didn't quote you your pace. You paused there a couple times that I didn't replicate. So besides pointing out that I feel that engaging in ad hominem attacks against other elected boards with your official position is in poor taste, I would like to introduce that we do have a very equitable agreement that's going to be very beneficial for both CARD and the city of Collinsville. It's going to allow us, require us, but allow us to cut our levy, which we want to do, and it will also allow the incentives to be more properly aligned for the city. So I do hope that you will approve this agreement. I believe it's great for both of us. Thank you very much. All right, so one correction there. Of course, you did hear me say that it was June 17th. I believe that it actually was June 13th. But anyway, I got the week right. And the fact is, it was still the open session where those comments were made. Now, one other thing, for people not from the area, Miners Park is all the way up in Glen Carbon. And, you know, there are people who live in the Collinsville Area Recreation District. They can walk to Miners Park. They live, 10 miles from any card park, which is, I don't know, it's kind of silly. That's why it's the Collinsville area, I guess. At any rate, I did receive at least one comment from a gentleman that believed that I was digging up old things. I shouldn't be talking about things that happened, way in the past, disagreements that occurred. I just don't agree. I think if you sit in open session and you literally just say other people are being arrogant and they're not fulfilling I feel it was a two-prong attack. A, they're doing a disservice to the taxpayer and engaging in gross mismanagement, which I didn't play the whole clip. You can go download that from the City of Collinsville's website from, again, look early June. You'll see it in there. You hear the whole thing about the ball fields from Jeff Stamen and all that kind of stuff. A, where the board is not fulfilling its obligation and doing a disservice to the taxpayers and not negotiating in good faith to get out of this situation. Now, disclaimer, he is talking about previous negotiations, previous boards that I was not a part of. So I can't account for any of that. However, if you want to reach an agreement, the same person who's told me don't be digging up things when you have an agreement, just get the agreement done. I mean, I kind of agree with that. But at the same time, if you want to get an agreement done, you don't take this hard, threatening stance and start calling people, names and engaging in ad hominem. So anyway, that's why I did that. Tell me what you think. Did you think that was appropriate? Did you think it wasn't? How would you have handled this situation if you were an elected person to, one of these minor boards? And again, I mean, this is, it seems like I'm making a big deal out of this. This is like, park district and a city council. It's not a big deal, but I find it kind of interesting. Now, you did hear me say as part of my public comments that down at CARD we do want to reduce our tax levy, and that's true. The thing is, this agreement requires CARD to cut their levy by $100,000. So we're going to be voting on that, when the levy is due in December. Another thing that we did the very next day, these comments were made on Monday, October 23rd. And then the very next day, CARD had a special meeting to approve a lease agreement of the Arlington Greens golf course, leasing it to a company called Arlington Greens LLC. Now at first, you might ask yourself, why in the world would a park district or any other municipal body take a publicly owned golf course and then lease it out to a private company? Now, I sort of agree. That's, it's kind of weird. However, my question would be, why does a municipality or a recreation district own a golf course? I mean, it's not like the market has shown that it can't, uh, run a golf course. I mean, this is very common. The market will provide golf services. If anyone wants to dispute that, please leave me a comment or, explain it, why the district needs to have a golf course. I think I don't know. You're gonna have to work on that. By the way, sorry if I look distracted. I'm just checking the health of my stream, make sure everything's going out because I've had some issues today. Um. Anyway, once we get this deal implemented, assuming we get it implemented, we did approve it. We voted 4-0 to approve the agreement of the lease to Arlington Greens LLC. We are going to realize a savings to the taxpayer of like $140,000 a year, over $4 million over the term of the lease. Now, when you look at a recreation district that's like $26 million in debt, and we're going to bring in some money from this lease, we're going to have cost avoidances, it all adds up. The money that comes in is already earmarked to pay the bond that went to buy the golf course. So basically, we're just kind of swinging the pendulum away, saving money to the taxpayers. And in my opinion, that's what a park district should be doing, especially one that has kind of an unfortunate record of just being in massive debt. We're going to save money for the people, and nothing changes, right? The people can still go use the golf course just the same like they used to. Another thing we did that's going to help us out is we own this thing called Arlington Wetlands. And if I'm not mistaken, I may not have all the exact numbers on this, but CARD owned something like 7 acres of this multiple 100-acre wetland area. The rest of it's owned by the county. And of course, the portion that CARD owned has the parking lot and a bunch of other stuff that needs maintenance. Well, we turn that over to the county, right? So now all the taxpayers in the county will pay for it instead of only the 35,000 or so taxpayers in CARD. We're going to show a savings from that. And what changed for the taxpayer? Nothing. The wetlands is still there. It's still going to get maintained, but it's going to get maintained by the county instead of CARD. So kind of, spread it out. And hopefully, the impact on the county's budget will be negligible. So anyway, those are the kinds of things that we're doing down at CARD. We're trying to get the tax liability down, still bringing people whatever services they expect from the district. And, hey, if you live in this area or you just want to see what's going on, come down to the meetings, see what's going on. We have a good time down at the meetings. We're doing good things. If you do download this meeting from the Collinsville City Council, you'll hear them saying that the public needs to go down and see what's going on down at CARD. I agree. You do. You also need to pay attention to what's going on up at the city. And, again, if you're watching this, I know some of our audience is from all over Illinois, maybe even, outside Illinois. And these exact details don't necessarily interest you. But look, this is kind of indicative of the kind of stuff that might be going on in your area that I honestly think you need to be paying attention to. At least a little bit. Don't spend all your time on it, driving you nuts or whatever, but at least pay a little bit of attention to the people that are taxing you. And, maybe they're doing the right thing, maybe they're not. So anyway, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Definitely subscribe to the video. I apologize for technical problems that kept me from getting this out, a little bit earlier. I did get my audio straightened out, so the audio should be considerably better than last time. Oh, I got one comment here. I think the right thing to do is to address comments that are neither productive or conductive to reaching an agreement. I would have done the same thing. Public officials don't get a free pass. Okay, Mark, I appreciate the comment, man, and I agree with you. So, and that's one of the reasons why when I gave my comments, I couched it in such a way as to say, hey, look, you guys are griping about the fact that the recreation district isn't bringing in additional money. Well, that money's all going to go to the city because the recreation district doesn't have the ability to collect hotel occupancy taxes motor fuel taxes, sales taxes, what are all those types of taxes. So if the recreation district pours a bunch of money into the ball fields in order to attract, a big tournament come in, which, okay, first of all, I don't know. Honestly, their gripe about the ball fields being in the worst shape of any ball field in the area. I did not go and look at the ball fields, and I don't look at other people's ball fields, so I don't know. But anyway, so if Card dumps a bunch of money into there to bring in a tournament, well, then the city's going to get this windfall of revenue from all of that traffic, but the residents of Card are not. So, it's only a smaller. It's not 100% of the people live in the city. Now, if everyone in the city that paid taxes to the city was also the same people in Card, then it would make sense, right? And that's where I'm saying the alignment is better. So I don't know. I thought a lot of their comments, and again, I'm not going to play them all, which now I'm being long-winded, but a lot of their comments had to do with that, just saying, oh, that I can't believe how bad everything is. One of the major disputes between the city and the recreation district was capital improvement, capital maintenance type of things. There were complaints about the wood beams and the little amphitheater thing being all messed up, and some code issues. Well, okay, so first of all, there are code issues being addressed down there. I read the staff reports. I know what's going on. So to say that nothing is getting done is disingenuous. The employees at Card were doing a great job. I read the staff reports. They're really busy trying to take care of the parks the best they could, basically making really good out of tight budget and a bad situation. Dealing with vandalism, those types of things. That said, there were some maintenance items that the city wanted to happen, and I think Card in the past, previous boards again, had said, well, we're not going to put money into that because it's not our property, and if you want something rebuilt or you want to get carpenters out there to redo all this stuff, you're going to have to pay for it. I commented on this in a previous video, and there were comments back from the city council say, no, that's not what the agreement says. I don't know what agreement they're looking at. I was looking at the lease, and it said Card may spend money on capital improvements. It didn't say shall or has to or anything like that. So there was really nothing binding. Honestly, being done with that lease is great. It was kind of a flawed thing anyway. But, all right. So, Mark, I appreciate the comment, sir. Thanks for watching. Now, back to signing off. Like I say, if you guys like this video, give me a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe. Share this on social media, especially if you live in the area. I want people to see what's going on. Hey, do come down to our Card meetings. We have a lot of fun down there. I think we're doing a lot of innovative, great things to save money for the taxpayer. Thanks so much for watching tonight. And, get back to watching the World Series, whatever you should be doing. Peace.